Good afternoon, guys. So today is 29th of December. The first news is related to the four states being dry run for rollout of vaccine. I hope you remember this is a two-day exercise that is conducted in the seven districts with the volunteers. All the persons who are coming forward are put under strict vigilance that they should be tracked over the next 14 days that whether any kind of side effects will be developing them or not. Now, in that particular regard, you should remember the center have issued a warning. There is a new stay that is currently found in India have been coming from United Kingdom, which is 70% more spreading and 70% more potent. So there is a threat that has been issued by the center who have been saying that this is not a time to let your guard down. Maybe the vaccine is available, but there is an increasing possibility that more and more people will be getting affected with the new strain of virus. So please be vigilant in protection and also wash your hand, and all the guidelines of the center should be followed. The next one is the PM flags of India's first driverless train. So this is now for the first time there will be no driver in the metro train. The driverless train that is currently running on the Magenta line in Delhi, and that is one of the things that the Modi government is doing. So this is one of the solution with respect to the mobility in the cities, and metros are one of the increasing source of mobility from going one place to another. There is approximately the target of the government is to increase the metro coverage to 25 cities by 2025, and in 2015 the total track of metro available in the country was 248 kilometer. The government intends to increase this track from to 48 kilometer of 2015 to 1700 kilometer by 2025. In 2020 we have approximately 700 kilometers, so it will be again tripling by the, you can say, year 2025. ठीक है, इस बात को ध्यान रखिएगा. Next one is the Brigadier Muhammad Usman. Who was he? He was the senior most officer who was killed in the 1947-48 war with Pakistan, and there is a grave which is located in the Jamia Millia Islamia campus. Now this will be restored by the army on its own expenditure if the government is not going to do so. So the army have taken the responsibility that the graves of the martyr will be taken care of for the families and also for the common people to see. So it has been damaged and it will be restored by the army itself. Okay? So I hope you understand, if army will restore, it would be very good part in that particular thing. The next one is the new passenger tracking system at IGI port. Why this is important? First of all, what it will do? So it will help the manage of the flow of the people, reduce the waiting time and ensure social distancing. So this is a Zovis passenger tracking system. It will display the live waiting time that should be taken for the various processes at the check-in, security checkup, and everything will be linked, and so that people can maintain equidistance and also not getting close with one another during the times of COVID. So type of a surveillance system that is imposed on the people, but this has been now included in the IGI port. IGI is the Indira Gandhi International Port. That's why it is called as a IGI port, and it is located in Delhi. I hope this is clear. Next one is the activist upset with the new food commission. The news is of Rajasthan. Why this has been in news? Understand one thing, there is National Food Security Act. Under the National Food Security Act, there are a lot of government employees who are included as a facilities to provide the grains from the FCI godowns and provide them at the fair prices shop. So what happens? The government goes to the FC godown. The FCI godown basically provide that particular food grains to the fair price shop, जो हमारी राशन की दुकान है वहाँ पे. Now, the activists of Rajasthan has been demanding a food commission. This food commission will take a eye on the quality of the products, or they will have basically, you can say, keep a check on whatever the type of food or the quality of food will be supplied to the common people. But what the government of Rajasthan have done, the government of Rajasthan have basically appointed the persons who are in the government or the secretaries and all other person in the government as the ex officio chairman of the food commission. So what is the purpose of food commission? Food commission purpose was to basically ensure the quality. So you can file a complaint against the government officials or the secretary in the food supplies department that this particular official is not performing good and he is sending uh, a type of a, let's say, material that is not good for consumption to the common people. So person, the activists are saying that you have made them ex officio. Ex officio is something by the occupancy of the office. Okay? So you are the person who is taking the stock of the quality. You are the person who is supplying the greens. So basically, activists are saying that we will be going to the government department by saying that I am making a complaint against you because you are not giving me good supply of grains for the common people. Okay, so that's why activists are saying that this particular arrangement that have been made should be done away with in Rajasthan. Okay, so I hope this is clear. Further moving on, the next one is the dealing with India's two-front challenge. Now, this is written by Dipinder Singh Hooda, and he is one of the major security advisor, and Happy Mohan Jacob, two persons very important in India. So, what is the two-front war possibility and threat? So, he have written this article from army's perspective. So, we will be reading it on the army's perspective itself. First of all, he starts by saying that whenever we have picked up the issue of a two-front war, most of the time the army was always looking for that there will be an immediate threat in near future against by Pakistan and China that will be combining against India. But when we talk to the political masters has always shunned away that there will be no two-front threat to India because Pakistan and China will never interfere, or between Pakistan and India, China will never interfere. But after the recent developments at the border, it has been clear to the Indian political leadership also that the China will be using Pakistan as a proxy to fight India. Okay? Now, in that particular part, whenever the political decision believes so, the strategy that we have employed over some certain or over some previous year has also been the same. We have only made our strategic concerns that are related to Pakistan and not related to China. Now, on present day, as China's threat is more eminent as compared to the Pakistani threat, so therefore the both borders are deteriorating in a sense that they are not supposed to earlier. So the Ladakh border is deteriorating. Then we have Uttarakhand border. Then we have Sikkim border. Then we have Arunachal Pradesh border. Now in that particular part, the Pakistan is also moving in. Pakistan have moved approximately 20,000 troops to Baltistan because it is thinking that India might make some aggressions in the Baltistan region. Now when the China and Pakistan come together, the earlier there were no complications, and whenever we have looked at China and Pakistan relations with one another, we have only looked at it as a trade relation. But now it have increased from trade relation to strategic relation. We have seen it as a defensive relation. We have seen it as a common investment relation. When we talk about the total arms acquired by the Pakistani state, 73% of the arms are coming from China. They have increasing their joint military corporation called as Shaheen 9 between the two countries. Now, if there are hostilities, let's say there are hostilities between Pakistan and India or between China and India, Pakistan may try to take advantage of it. Now, what are the options that are available with Pakistani people? As we see, the economy, they cannot destroy their whole economy, so Pakistan will never go for a full-scale war. However, they will try to take advantage of whatever they can, or they will try to make, you can say, type of a incursion into the domestic territory of India. With respect to the internal preparation, if we talk about, when we talk about Indian Air Force, there is a need of 60 combat squadrons, and India does not have right now 60 combat squadrons that should be in existence in existence in the Indian Armed Forces. So there is a dearth of resources, there are lack of resources. Now we will have to decide that if we want to secure the northern border, then we can move all the quantum of resources to the northern border, but then it will be keeping the western border without any protection. So either we can go for a theater command in which army, navy and all other will be cooperating with one another. But on the other hand, we also face a threat from the Pakistani army on the navy front. We also face threat from the Chinese bases that are increasing everywhere in the Indian Ocean, and they are also increasing their influence in the Gulf of Aden. Okay, I hope you remember there is one in the Horn of Africa. the one base has been allocated to China. ठीक है, read about this particular base and why it is a threat to the Indian Ocean. Now, so in totality, as we know, the threat is imminent. So the political leadership and the defense leadership should come together. They should follow up a doctrine that how we will deal. They should also be capable, or should be made capable to deal with any contingency or any problem that we will be suffering with respect to the two front war. Okay, I hope this is clear to you. Now let me add some more things. For example, most of the time I have told you in the classes that we are not facing a two front war, we are facing a 2.5 front war. And the half front I call is the terrorist organization that are currently harbored in Pakistan and being sent to Kashmir for the infiltration and various type of terrorist activities to be conducted across India. So I hope this is clear. So we may be fighting a two front war, but the actual imminent threat is 2.5 front war. One is Pakistan, one is China, and the another one are the terrorist organizations. Okay, so you should remember all these three. The next one is the war and words. So this is with respect to Taliban and what the Taliban needed to do, how they need to halt, where the Taliban have gained a soil, Afghan soil. So we have talked, I think, enough about Taliban. So you can read this article on your own. You can read about Taliban. What are the demands now? The 50% quota, the violence that have surged, the army is moving out, how the Taliban is gaining ground, why there is a need for a imminent peace deal between Taliban and the ruling government of Ashraf Ghani. Okay? Then we have reforms with the future and farming needs in mind. You can also read this on your own. This is again the Farms Act, if they are implemented in the right spirit, and how the transformation of the rural economy will be happening. So basically, we have talked about the exports, the farmer side of the debate, and the APMC Mandi, how they are needed to be reformed. Even if they are not needed to be removed, how they should be reformed. Okay? Please read this on your own, because already we have talked about the war in words and with respect to the reforms in the farming sector. The next article is granting bail is the rule. Now, this is a comment on the Supreme Court. In the Supreme Court have said that the bail to the common people should be applied in the smaller courts, and then it should be gone to the higher courts. So these two particular lawyers has basically criticized that the Madhya Pradesh High Court has basically denied, or a conditions for a granting certain applications should not be advised. Now, in that particular part, they have said that with respect to the bail is always the rule, because it ensures the freedom of a people. If the charges are not approved, every person should be granted the bail. Okay? Because it also makes sense. If you are not guilty of anything and you are being framed into something heinous, should the bail be provided to you without delay by any court. Okay? But then again, it can also be argued in the case of Prevention of Atrocities Act, in which a particular SC/ST person can accuse you that you have been involved in a type of a casteist slur against him. So you will be, the offense that you have committed, if you have committed or not committed, will be non-bailable. So you will be arrested immediately, and then you will have to approach the court, and then you can get the bail. Okay? So this is a comment on this particular issue, that the bail should be the rule and the jail should be exception. This is what Ms. Nitika Sonavane and Shruguna Bej believes. Now, in that particular part, you should remember that when we talk about the potency of the bail applications, they are very high in the country. Already the Supreme Court have made observation of that. In the subordinate court, the bail's potency is very high. With the impact of COVID, the bail is also increasing because the courts are not sitting as they were supposed to do. There is shutting down of courts. The bail amount has also been very humongous. The minimum bail amount in the subordinate court is rupees 10,000, and is the High Court and the Supreme Court is 30,000. So there are a lot of cases that are currently happening in India. When we talk about India, there are 57% of the population in India that is earning less than 10,000 rupees per month. There are also landless workers, Dalit and Adivasis, who are on the receiving part of it because they do not have large money to actually function the bail, and therefore they are put in jail for not even committing the crimes that they are accused of. So I hope this is clear. डिटेल में जाने की जरूरत नहीं है, बस ये बात याद रखिए कि bail should be given to the people. Why it should be given to the people? Because they are not guilty at the first instance. Now there are certain laws in India in which the bail is not provided, but then again you should be able to prove it. The next one is the Karnataka set to ban cow slaughter. So cow slaughter will be banned in Karnataka. And the one thing that it have done is all the 13 years and above slaughter is allowed, but the 13 years and below slaughter is not allowed. इतना ही इसकी डिटेल में जाने की जरूरत नहीं है. Next one is center trying to expand farmers market for farmers. So with respect of cold storage and the facility that they have started with respect to Kisan Rail, they have said that various facilities has been provided to Kisan. For example, Kisan Rail Krishi Udan scheme. Krishi Udan scheme is run by Ministry of Civil Aviation, and Krishi Rail Service is run by, or the Kisan Rail Service is run by the Railway Ministry. You should remember, Krishi Udan involves the exports and Krishi Rail involve exports and imports also. ठीक है, इस बात को ध्यान रखिएगा, डिटेल में जाने की जरूरत नहीं है इसमें. The next one is the Assam table bill to make madrasa school regular. Now, we will talk about under Article 25, 28 and 29, 30 when we will pick up the polity chapter. But understand one thing, the minority in the country have an option to run their own education institution according to their own administration. Okay? So according to Article 29 and 30, the minority within the country, the Muslims, Jain, Christians and all other people, they are allowed to run their education institution in their own manner or in their own administration within the country. So Assam is basically changing the madrasas which are run by a Muslim community into regular school, because actually this case has also went to the Supreme Court, so I will have to again go to the polity part. But for now, remember this particular thing. Madrasas, Assam bill to make madrasas into regular school will be under the provisions of Article 29, Article 30. We will talk about in polity. And the religion conversion bill will be under Article 25. Okay, we will also talk about that in polity. But for now, just understand that why this is important, because under Article 29 and 30, the minorities are free to run their education institution. Now here the government is basically encroaching upon the rights of the minority. Okay, so they have gone to Supreme Court. Now Supreme Court have given a decision that the regulation and the maintaining the standards of a education should not be regarded as interference. Okay, so Himanta Vishwa Sharma, when he will go to court against the case that he is trying to regulate the madrasas, his argument would be that you yourself have given a decision that the regulation is allowed, the control is not allowed. So I am only regulating the control, and all the members will be of the minority community, but they will be providing a minimum standard education that should be there. Okay? And if Assam does it, I'm telling you, UP will on the way, Madhya Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh, or wherever the BJP government is, they will be trying to regulate madrasas. Okay? So that will create more friction between the Muslim community and the Hindu community. So be prepared for this. I think in future this is also going to happen. Some standardization is required, but I have always told you, if the change comes from within, it is a good change. If the change comes from outside, it is a forcible change and does not last long. Okay? So if you are on your own path that you want to do something, you will be better motivated. If another person have to always sit with a you can say stick around you that you should study, that is not going to last. Okay? So I hope you understand my thing. If Muslim community do reforms on their own, that the madrasa should be a center of not only religious teaching but a center of technical teaching, it would have been better for the society. But now you are putting a stick on the madrasas that you should follow this particular regulation, so that is going to create some friction between the two. ठीक है, तो इस बात को ध्यान रखिएगा. ये दोनों हम आर्टिकल 29, 30 और रिवीजन वाला 25 में डिस्कस करेंगे. नेक्स्ट वन इज द चाइना डिफाइंड प्रोग्रेस ऑफ पाक कॉरिडोर. नाउ the report of additional guarantees from Islamabad before sanctioning a loan for CPEC, it has rejected. So China said that the additional guarantees from Pakistan before sanctioning a loan for a key proposal under the CPC were baseless. So they said that they are not asking for any additional guarantees. Now understand why they are so lenient to the Pakistan, because Pakistan is one of their major country which can actually connect them directly to the Indian Ocean, and this is what they desire and this is what they want. Okay? Because without this they will not be able to connect the Indian Ocean apart from India. Okay? Bangladesh se they can join, but then again they will have to basically pass through India. Okay, so these are some of the things that are currently debated. And with respect to the debt issue, there are various things that are currently happening in Pakistan. There is a 6 billion main line project of rail that is constructed from China to Pakistan. There is 30% investment of the total Belt and Road investment that is coming into Pakistan. Okay? So Belt and Road Initiative, I hope you remember. The next one is the Pakistan occupied Kashmir, $60 billion is the total project of CPC that is currently conducted by the Chinese authorities in the area of Pakistan. Okay? So these are some of the things that they have talked about, and Pakistan needs the funding of China. China needs Pakistan for increasing its hold on the world. If it is directly engaged in Pakistan, then it can contact with all the nations that are located in the Central Asia and also the nations that are located in Africa. Take a see the map where Pakistan is located and how important for China is Pakistan to cut down whole the path that they have to follow right now. Right now they have to come from South China Sea, then they come to State of Malacca, then they come to Bay of Bengal, then they come to Indian Ocean, and then they go to Africa. If they use Pakistan, from Pakistan they can directly come to Indian Ocean. Okay? Take a look on the atlas and how these particular things are shaping. You should also see that. The next news is maintaining inflation target at 4% is appropriate. This is a Reserve Bank of India paper. They have said that 4% is the target, upper limit should be the 2%, so maximum limit will be 6% and the minimum limit will be 2%. I hope you remember the targeting of the Reserve Bank of India inflation has been criticized. Okay? And why it has been criticized? Because the Reserve Bank of India was not able to control the inflation. So some people in some economists were also criticizing that whether RBI should only focus on growth and not on inflation. But when we talk about inflation, we were told that inflation is a type of a tax on the poor. Why it is a tax on the poor? Because the rich people are not getting affected by the inflation. The poor people are only getting affected more with the effects of the inflation. Okay? So I hope this is clear. I think आज के लिए तो इतना ही था.